this video, I want to talk about finding a monthly rental apartment in Hanoi, Vietnam. I wanted to first start off by talking about the different districts and areas that we looked at in Hanoi, since it is a big city and can be overwhelming. Then I want to go into the different methods that we use to finding a monthly rental apartment, and at the end of the video, I'll give you an apartment tour of what we ended up deciding on and how much we paid. The different areas of Hanoi can be very overwhelming. For the first week, we just booked an Airbnb in Ba Dinh. This is a more local residential area just south of Tai Ho Lake. Right next to Ba Dinh are the Old and French Old Quarter districts, which are popular areas for tourists. There are a lot of restaurants and bars in this area, along with the Hoan Kiem Lake. These areas can be quite busy and noisy. However, on the weekends, they close off some of the roads to make it a walking-only street, which is the best time to be here in our opinion. The next area is Tai Ho, which consists of the entire area surrounding the Tai Ho Lake. We ended up in this area, specifically the Quang An area. There are a lot of Western restaurants in this area along with expats living here. It also usually has a higher air quality index in comparison to downtown, which was one of the initial reasons why we chose an apartment here. There are a lot more areas in the city of Hanoi. However, for time's sake, we just listed the areas that we've stayed in. The methods that I'll talk about for finding an apartment can be applied for all areas. During our apartment search, we found 3 main methods that worked well for us, all with pros and cons. First is the easiest and most expensive method, Airbnb. It is so easy on the website to just type in your preferences like private bathroom, different amenities. You can even list your price range, and there are a ton of options that will pop up, so it's always good to know the area you want to stay in before you start searching. There are several pros with booking a monthly apartment on Airbnb. First is the reviews. You have customer reviews from people that have actually stayed there, and you can see what they have to say about the place, whether it was great, whether it wasn't. It's always good to read the reviews. Second is you have a full visual and description of the apartment. Usually there'll be pictures. I'm really not sure how accurate or up to date those pictures are, but at least you can have a visual of what you're going to be getting yourself into. And third is the online payment, which is great. There's no deposit. You book it through Airbnb with their service charge. However, you don't have to have an upfront deposit for the rental, which is additional cash you have to provide up front. And the fourth pro is having Airbnb as that third-party manager. Whenever we've had an issue with Airbnb, we've always contacted customer service and everything has always worked out. The biggest cons of Airbnb are, first, you don't get to see the place first. There's no apartment tour in advance. Second, it is usually way more expensive. The first place we stayed at in Ba Dinh was listed for $650 per month, and we know that apartment in that area is more like half the price after looking around at different apartments. So you're gonna pay a premium using a platform like Airbnb. The second method to finding a monthly rental apartment in Hanoi is online platforms. One of the platforms that we use a lot are different Facebook groups. I'll list a few of the different Facebook groups that we use, and you literally just search away. There are a lot of real estate agents in these Facebook groups along with private owners. You will often see a lot of the Airbnb posts on these Facebook groups just for way less. So if you're willing to put a cash deposit and meet up with the person in advance, it's usually cheaper for you to use the Facebook groups and contact the individuals directly. There are also 2 different real estate websites that we use to find an apartment that were really helpful. I'll list the websites here. I just emailed certain agents and certain listings that they had to see which ones they were willing to do 1-month rentals. They were very accommodating with sending me ones that fit my requirement. The biggest pros for using a Facebook group or the online agents is it's usually cheaper. Almost always it's cheaper than Airbnb. A second pro is you can schedule a viewing, actually see the property, not just the photos, and you can negotiate a price then and there. And the third pro is you can usually find exactly what you're looking for or close to what you're looking for. Airbnb usually has a limited selection. It just takes a little more time. One of the biggest cons is that you need to pay in cash. There's no online payment when it comes to booking an apartment directly, and it can be very annoying if you have a foreign bank account. You're constantly getting these withdrawals fees. HSBC and Citibank, those are the ATMs that have allowed the maximum withdrawal of around 5 million dong to 10 million dong, which can help so you're not like withdrawing 20 times just to get your deposit and your monthly rental. The second biggest con is the fact that there is a monthly security deposit. It also can be a very big pain to receive a whole bunch of Vietnamese dong as you're leaving the country. Great, what am I gonna do with this? And the last con would be that you usually have to pay utilities, sometimes even water, but the utility costs tend to be pretty low in comparison to the US or Germany. And the last method is good old-fashioned direct contact. There are a lot of different apartment complexes and big hotel buildings that will often offer monthly rentals. A lot of these big apartment complexes have management offices or sales offices at the lower level. You can just go in and see if they have what you're looking for. And some hotels will usually have longer monthly apartment suites that they offer, but this is always an option. It's just a little more work if you're into it. And finally, the apartment tour. Here is our 1-bedroom apartment. It has a full kitchen, table, living area with a TV and sofa. There are 2 air cons, a king bed, and a bathroom with a separate shower, which was key because you're not always gonna find that in Asia. The apartment itself had everything we needed, including a washer on the balcony. The only real complaint about the apartment is we didn't realize how low the countertops were until we started cooking. This was not comfortable for a 5'7" girl or a 6-foot guy to be cutting vegetables or anything on. We paid a total of $430 US per month for a 1-month rental. There was always the option to renew. It's kind of a month-to-month lease. However, we only stayed in this apartment for 1 month and the utilities totaled to about $50 US. The best part about this apartment was that it was fully furnished and it included a cleaning service about twice a week. Overall, this area was pretty quiet and we enjoyed our stay in this apartment. Especially for this price point, you really can't beat that. We really hope this helps you in your short or long-term search for apartment rentals in Hanoi or just in Vietnam in general. We've applied some of these methods to finding different apartments throughout Vietnam and they've worked for us. Let us know in the comments below your experience with apartment searches. Do you love it? Is it annoying? Let us know. Also, let us know if you would stay in Vietnam for a month with that kind of budget. I know I would. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye!